good evening, and welcome. This is what I thought was the last pre-season, and is not the last pre-season.
Have you cut him up?
No. I just said his internet had problems. Good evening, everybody. This is what Gilly was going to say. He thought it was the last pre-season, but actually it's the first of the new season. So, obviously, because we're going to be talking a little bit about Wolves at the weekend. It's official. It's officially the first one of the season. Welcome back. We're all having internet issues tonight, apart from me. Just you and Jay. Ironically, the IT gurus, the two working IT.
Mine's been fine, absolutely rock solid while we've been waiting half an hour for everybody to get on. Me and Cal just sat having a natter. Yeah. Apologies for that. So we'll get going. It is the official one. We're probably not quite as ready as we'd like to be, but we'll get into it. And we'll bring you a show.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Now then, so I am joined tonight at the moment by Luke and Carl. We're hoping that Jay will join us in a little while as he sorts his issues out. So Carl, how are you doing?
We're actually all right.
I didn't want to say. How are we doing, Carl?
Doing all right, Gilly, man. Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
And Luke?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Cheers. Ready for the season after the weekend. To be fair, I enjoyed the game. Took me girls, really enjoyed it. Played some really nice stuff, albeit against a Serie B team. But look, hey, we can only play what's in front of you. I'm really excited for the season.
Very good. So we have a few things to get into. So we'll jump straight in, and you've started it off on subject number one. So, Carl, give us the name of the opposition from the last game.
Cagliari.
Not Calgary.
Cagliari, yeah.
Luke, you've already set us off, so I'll come back to you. So your girls first. Is that the first visit at all to Ellen Road?
It's both of their. My eldest been away. She's been to West Ham, Ipswich, Peterborough, Arsenal. Didn't she go to Arsenal? No, she didn't. She didn't go to Arsenal. No, last season she did West Ham. The season or 2 seasons before, when Ipswich beat us on the last day of the season, when we fucked it up in the playoffs that season, she came to Ipswich away. They were already relegated, and I think they fucking pumped us with 10 men. We missed a penalty. In fact, it was Roof missed a penalty, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it was both their first time actually up to Ellen Road with us being down south, and really enjoyed it. The whole atmosphere. Went in the Peacock before. Went and found their Bremner Square stone. Went in the club shop. I told them they could have one thing, anything they wanted each. They both bought a fucking teddy bear each. They both have the shirts and that anyway, so look, whatever makes them happy. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the game too. We look good, man, in parts. And if that's the starting lineup that we go into the season with, and we managed to stay relatively unscathed for the first few games, and get that camaraderie and that morale and understanding of work playing together. I think we'll do all right. I think there was a lot of positive to take out of that game.
So, with there, just focusing, were there anybody that stood out from the others for you in the game?
Just the little lad on the wing who he caused Rasmus a couple of problems a couple of times, and I think when he also slid over slightly and then started running at Cock. And made Cock look silly a couple of times as well. I think he was number 9 if I remember rightly.
He wasn't it?
Yeah.
He left Cock looking like he was running in treacle, didn't he?
Yeah. He was quick. He was fast. He was direct, and he causes a couple of issues, and that concerns me a little bit. I think when you look at the level of opposition we're going to be going up against this season and the wingers, you look at some of the players. thank fuck Raf's not going up against us because it causes all sorts of bother this season. So yeah, we've got weak points, and we've got Achilles heels and areas of the field where we're going to struggle. But all in all, it wasn't a bad performance, and I think there is a lot to look forward to this season.
Fair enough. Carl, I don't think you made the game, did you? Did you watch it from home?
I did. I watched it at home. Yeah.
So, were there any Leeds players that stood out for you from the performance?
Aronson stood out a lot for me. I know he got 3 assists, and it was very obvious to pick him. But I think that was probably the best period of football. I know we haven't seen much of him, but it was definitely his best in pre-season. Thought Rasmus took a serious blow to the head. He's got a nice old dinger on him now. But fair play to him for getting back up and carrying on. It shows that he's definitely going to be one of them players that fans become fairly obsessed with fairly quickly. So
absolutely,
that was good to see.
There were no chance he were backing out of it because everybody in the crowd winced when it happened. But there were not a single sense, not a single expectation that there were any backward step being taken. There was somebody walked past me though when he'd been down for a while. He went, "You're not supposed to be a Viking." And basically, the other guy limped off. He got strapped up and just got back in game, didn't he? So maybe even that he managed to turn around. So I think that's fair. I think Aronson he carries the ball well, doesn't he? I think he is direct, and I think that we're going to appreciate that from him this season. I think one of the things that lots of people have been critical about from Leeds is that backwards crossfield. Let's go back again. Let's go back again. If he gets on ball, he's got one thing in his mind, and that's let's get forward.
Him and Adams have that.
Yeah, they both work really hard. They do the gritty, horrible shit bits of football that not everybody likes to do. They'll put a foot in and they'll battle hard even when it looks like a lost cause. I was going to say actually on the positives that how well Rocker and Adams complement each other because previously under Bielsa we've played with one pivot. Adams, under Jesse Marsh when he came in, it was clear to us that we were going to be playing 2 pivots. But you look at what he had available to him last season. Calvin in parts didn't really look comfortable in a 2. It's probably fair to say. And he was playing alongside the likes of Klitsch, Forshaw. Koch was playing in there as well from time to time, and it didn't look right. And then this season, with the new additions, those two just seem to complement each other so well. And providing they both stay fit, touch wood, I think they'll be a real driving force in how our season goes. To be fair.
Yeah. On Rocca, sorry, Gilly. What a wand of a foot. He was spraying that ball as well as I've seen Calvin spray at the ball out wide when he got the opportunity. He's not afraid to hammer that long diagonal as well. So that's another one to kind of add to the improvement on it. You've got 2 players that can play the same kind of football, but one of them's got a wand of a foot.
Yeah. The only problem I've got with that, Carl, is we've got nobody to sit in there if Rocco does. Unfortunately, has to miss a game if he gets banned or injured or whatever. We've got very little in reserves in terms of who would replace, and if we're going to play that style week in week out and be pretty much rigid in our formation and our style, who comes in? I mean, Clicky could probably do a job, but there's talk of Clicky going. It's concerning that we've only got one player like that for me. Whereas for Tyler, if Tyler Adams was to miss a game, we've got Forshaw who can go in and do the nitty gritty and the short passing and breaking up a play and the ball winning midfield. Archie Gray arguably could do the rocker role. I don't know, maybe. Well, time will tell. But providing we try and keep those 2 as fresh as possible, I think that will determine how well our season goes. I think they'll be crucial to us this year.
What's happening with Lewis Bate? Because he's not really featured, has he, in pre-season?
Hey up, Jay. Welcome along.
Hi, mate. I would have thought he'd be an option if needed.
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you?
I
is
thought
he
that you
gonna
were going to end up
on
going out
somewhere?
on. Yeah, I thought we were going to end up going out on loan. There's not been much
There was
talk, has there?
It's very
There was
strange.
talk of that.
It must be
So
annoying
I think
from his point of view if you see an Archie Gray sort of knocking on the door and you've been there and you're not getting mentioned at all.
And then you've got Adams coming in, kind of.
Did he travel? Did he travel to Australia, bit?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember him featuring. I watched all games as well. I don't remember him featuring, but
Yeah,
he was. Go on, sorry.
He hasn't featured.
Not at all. He hasn't played once pre-season.
I don't think so.
He got a game against Blackpool for a while, but that was it.
I can't remember. I have to be honest. If anybody's watching who can tell us otherwise, I don't remember seeing him in pre-season. But yeah, I mean, we seem to obviously the positives we've got to go into this season, I suppose, is that we are as a squad much stronger in terms of depth, and I know I'm probably contradicting myself exactly what I just said about Rocker here, but in terms of position for position, we're actually stronger man for man in terms of depth. Now we've obviously got less quality in two positions, but what we have got is far more strength in depth across the park for me, which is pretty much, I suppose, what you need to do when you go into a season where your 5 subs are allowed first of all, but also we needed it. We needed it really bad.
I think there's a couple of really notable exceptions on that, and I think that it's really key. So because we're going to be playing that double pivot, actually, if you look at March's setup, his fullbacks are all important, and they need to be getting forward. Now, for me, I think that suits the left back that we've got because it'll have less defensive work to do. But at the same time, we don't have him at the moment, and Strike's not it, and Gelder's not it. They can fill in and do a job, but that we need more than that. So I think there's a couple of notable exceptions: left back, number 9, and the backup keeper that we've been talking about we need for a while. I think if you look at the other spit, you look at centre back, yeah, we've got enough. You look in central midfield, we've probably got enough. You look on the wings, we look to have enough, especially if you look at the club are back in Somerville now, they're back in Greenwood now. We've got Harrison, we've got James, we've got Aronson that can play in there. So I think we're in that position where, yes, we do have a couple of names per position that we're looking for, that we've been looking for some time, except for those specific elements. And Alisson, I'm not even going to put a comment up.
That name that we're looking for.
He's not the answer.
If he's the answer, I don't want to know the question.
So that's the Calgary game. So we'll move on.
Just a couple more things on the Cagliari game. How good is it to see Bamford scoring again? First of all, and looking fit. He played all game. He did play the full 90.
Yeah. There was no subs.
And Rodrigo had a fucking great game as well.
He does this to us, doesn't he, Rodrigo? I don't trust him.
Here's a question.
Keep it going.
Here's a question: was that Rodrigo? Was that a hat trick?
Yeah.
I give it to
I'm not having that at all. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, we want to give him a boost. That's not his goal. No way. Which 2 players played it? On
the one that came off the defender
He did kind of look across as if to say it was a cross, but
he looked a bit embarrassed and sheepish when he was celebrating.
When you're a striker, they all count, mate. That'll go on his record.
Play him out, won't you? Play him out. I'm glad Bamford got his goals there because I wouldn't have wanted to see him start the season without getting a few in pre-season. So I feel like that'll have done him a world of good because either what he's like, he'd have put that pressure on himself probably if he'd not scored in pre-season. He'd be like even more desperate to get a goal. And we've seen what strikers get like when they're desperate. They start snatching, they start missing stuff. And I feel like it'll have done him a world of good, that not just the fitness element, but the confidence.
Yeah, it's a fair shout. And I also think that Harrison, Aronson, Bamford goal, one thing that is often pointed out is that he's best when he doesn't have time to think. And he had a bunch of time to think about that one, and he still finished it well. And I think that'll do him a world of good as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Great atmosphere as well for a friendly, by the way.
What experience awesome. Having no South stand?
I was really upset to see people in my area in the cheese wedge because when I bought a ticket, it wasn't open and I couldn't get my seat, so I had to get one in the library. But Yeah, they.
Hang on, you're gonna have to narrow it down. Is that Cop, East or West?
I'll have to leave people guessing, mate.
It's also safer,
after. It is, mate. It is. I don't want anyone after me. Got enough people.
I spoke to Lynn Zeppel before we went, and she said I'll have to keep it down because I'm in Cop.
She has to keep it down because she's her.
Hey, you said that, not me.
Hey, drawing attention, that lass, I'm telling you.
They're not the views of all the pod, by the way. You're listening, Linz.
You know I love you really, Linz.
So here's a question then. So we've sort of touched on it on some of the signings and the fact that, you know, we're still looking for some players to come in. I think Jesse's made it clear that he's still looking for some players to go in. So here's a question for Luke. Is Rad's tight?
Is he tight?
You're gonna have to give him some context here, Gilly.
There's been some back and forth. A big bunch of people, I think, quite a few people have been a bit vocal about whether we're going to invest in the side or they're going to make the signing.
Not a bunch of people. What he means is fucking. What's this for Jason? He's fucking. This is the conversation comes up every time, and he doesn't. He started saying that we made a £26 million profit the COVID season.
I saw the Twitter thread on this.
Then slating Rads, I was like, hang on a minute, we only made a £5 million profit, and Rads wiped off 21 million. That makes 26. At least give him credit for throwing 21 million in before you start calling him tight. But anyway,
to be fair,
I think.
You've got a point there, Luke. It hadn't really cost him any money, because it was interest owed to him, so he's not lost anything by not taking that money. If you're
worth
getting the money, but I mean,
you're worth the interest. That's an income stream that he's not paid anything out, but he's written off money that was owed to him.
Pay anything out for it.
At the same time, though, if you look at the amount of money that the 49ers put in last season, that I think that there might have been an offset there of, you write off that, and then we'll give you that money, and then it looks like it's a better deal all round because the amount that they put in. But I don't know if we've ended up in a situation where the 49ers don't want to put the money in at the moment because they don't have controlling share, and therefore actually the investment that they make, they'd be giving somebody else the money and then buying it off them.
Same for Rads. Why would he want to invest more than what he's got when he might be selling the club in a year's time? And say he spends under 30 million of his own money now, right, and sells the club in a year's time. He's not going to incorporate that 30 million quid, regardless of where we finish next season. It might be worth more than 30 million quid, depending where we finish in the league. So I completely understand it from a business perspective. I do, and he's not a Leeds fan. He doesn't owe the city, the club, anything. He's got us promoted to the Premier League. You know, and that's my stance on it. Whether you think he's tight or not, it's a completely different argument to the argument that I've been having, I think. But look, we are where we are.
I would just set you
up. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm going into the season optimistic. I think we've got stronger squad than we had last year, definitely. And I also think that there's some even shitter teams in the league that there was last year as well.
Well, I'm still quite worried, and I think he should spend a little bit more because
I think he should.
Well, you guys have made good points about sort of you don't want to spend money if you're going to sell up anyway, sort of thing. There's also an element of protecting your investment, isn't there? So, like, do you gamble again, or do you spend that little bit more, get 2 more players in, and feel like you've done all that you can to protect your investment?
I mean, it is a gamble. If you look at the way that we're setting up, you know, like I said, having that double pivot places more emphasis on your width coming from your fullbacks, and if you don't have one of those fullbacks, you're kind of undermining what your coach is trying to do. And I think we don't have enough goals in the side, because Raf we need to ensure, you know, we look like we've got some exciting players, but we know that Bamford's had some recent issues with keeping fit. So yes, he might play the full season. I hope he does. I hope he's fit for the entire season. But can you bank on that being the case? Probably not. So I do still think that we need at least those. And the other thing that we've talked about before, Klaassen did well when I think he's only played a half of first team football when he came on as a sub. I don't think any more than that, because Mez was then fit again for the next game. But if he was unavailable for an extended period, I'm still a little bit worried that we don't have any experienced cover. So you know, I do think we need them.
There is talk of Garrison, apparently.
Yeah, I've seen that. I have seen that. And do you know what? There is some experience there, and he's more interested in his GoPro. And he's an ex-scummer.
Carson.
Carson. No, Foster, wasn't it?
Foster is
It's Foster, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant, not Carson. I've not
It's
seen
Foster
Carson.
we were interested in.
Well, Foster I was on about. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, excuse me, yeah.
So, it's one of those where I think we already knew where we wanted to strengthen. We talked about it last season. We talked about it season before. I think we were all happy that before last season started with the left back position because we'd gone and signed with the one that we wanted. We'd got one from Barca and he looked exciting. So it remains to be seen as to whether Firpo's going to step up. I think that there's a player in there, especially if we're taking some of the defensive responsibilities off him. But again, he's injured, and we need to do something about that anyway. So it's an interesting one.
But then you look at it. By the time we get somebody in now, get them up to speed, get them playing, understand the system, Firpo's likely to be back. Yes, Firpo's not the answer. I mean, based on last season's performances alone, but that was in a completely different system, as you say. We forked out, I think, was it between 12 up, raising to 17 for Firpo or something like that, I think.
Yeah, up to 16 I had in my head. It was something like that, yeah.
And the club aren't just going to go out and spend that again on another left back when we've only done that a year ago. Simply not. If we could get a bargain, then I think they'd look at it. And I hope we do get somebody in, even if it is just for however long Firpo's out, just to sit in there and do a bit more of a job than Struijk can. Because Struijk's fantastic defensively, but he's not got the speed for the left back, and he can't cross a ball. It's not his position. He did a decent job in there against the Serie B team, but we can't be relying on a 6 foot odd centre back who looks like Count Dracula to do a.
Well, they could try and scare right wingers.
Well, that's what worries me. The class of the right wing is arguably the best position in the league when you look at the players who play on the right wing in the league for the top sides. So that's what scares me. It's our weakest point, but arguably the league's strongest area. So, just back to your point, Gilly, about what did you just say?
Brad's being tight.
No, it was after that. Anyway,
double pivot, left back, 9, Foster.
Well, I was going to say Reece Struijk. Did you notice how bad some of his positioning was at left back against Calgary, as Carl likes to call him? Because there were times when he was you could see he was a centre back playing out of position because he was leaving like the guy off his shoulder, kind of well over there. Like we're kind of used to seeing.
That might be because he's a centre back, Jay.
That's what I'm saying. So you could see from the positioning that it won't work as a long-term thing, which leads me on to: do we have someone lined up, or does Marsh just really think that Leif Davis is that bad?
Do you know what? I think the way he spoke about roster, in Australia, and there being space on the roster if it works and everything, and then letting Leif Davis go the day they got back from Australia, pretty much, it almost convinced me that we were signing a left back.
I thought so too.
But now, the closer we get to the start of the season, I just don't see it being not sensible, but I just don't see how it can. I mean, it's a long season, so maybe we will. I don't know. I wouldn't have a bet either way.
It sounds like you're describing our away kit. Will we even get it? Will we not get it? It's like a left back is as elusive as a fucking kit now at this stage.
Hey, that's out Thursday. That's out Thursday, by the way. By all
accounts. I believe it when I see it.
I can just see us at Southampton running out in 11 goalkeeper jerseys and white shorts.
Meslier wearing last season's goalkeeper kit.
Yeah.
I'm going nowhere near Southampton ever again in my life.
I'm going this time. I'll not be mentioning your name when I'm there.
Okay, just a word from our sponsors. To know better, excited to announce a new partnership. 3 Retro is the retro football shop. 3 Retro was born from the love of the game, from historical nights on the Cold Terrace, and from the love of vintage shirts of a bygone era. Find the referral link and discount code in our social media accounts and in the comments and descriptions of To Know Better podcast recordings for a 10% discount on the full range.
Lovely.
Eagle-eyed viewers among you may realise that I'd clicked the wrong ad. But we are still partnered with 3 Retro, so it's okay. And that's just in the interest of transparency. I didn't really need to admit that. But yeah, we'll move forward and we'll have a word from another sponsor later in the show. So if we move on to to looking forward, I am excited about the upcoming season. I think we do have some exciting players. I think watching Harrison and Aronson interact behind Bamford, I think that looked really good. I think that's really promising, especially with that stability of Rocker and Adams behind them. So looking forward to the season. Just want to get into some elements around what we think Leeds related and then Premier League related. So I'll come round each of you. I'm going to note down your input, and then we'll have a look back late in the season and see how we did, or maybe the end of season, and just see how far away we were. So Carl, I'm going to come to you first because I explained this to you before we kicked off. So you're the only one that knows about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through player of the season, young player of the season, breakout player of the season from the new players that we've got, top scorer and top assister for Leeds. So, Carl, player of the season?
This one is kind of a tough one, but I think it's either going to be... I'm going to go with Rocca.
Okay. And young player of the season? Now, I think, is that defined as anybody that's eligible for the under-23s without being one of the exceptions?
21s, yeah.
Is it 21s?
I'm going to go... I have a sneaking suspicion it might be Greenwood,
Okay. Breakout player of the season from the new players?
Even though he's out at the moment, I'm going to go Sinistera.
All right, okay. You're going to put him above Rocker, you chose for your player of the season?
Well, okay. there can be a breakout player, and then there can be a player of the season. Like a breakout player doesn't necessarily... Anyway, doesn't matter.
Fair enough. No, that's fine. Top scorer?
I'll just go Bamford, don't I?
And top assister?
Harrison.
Okay. Luke, I'll come to you next. Oh, have you lost him?
Will you?
Oh, no!
You are the weakest link.
Now.
Goodbye.
Jay, I'll come to you next.
This is kind of boring because all my picks are the same as Carl's.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Makes it easy to write down.
I think, do you know what? I'll pick Joffrey for young player just to change something.
See, I think Joffrey's had, that kind of thing, but I think it's either going to be between Somerville and Greenwood, I think.
I think you're onto a winner there, probably, but I had to change something. I can't have all the same answers.
Yeah. What about you, Gilly?
Pick the others that we're going to have.
So my player of the season is also Rocker. It was something that somebody mentioned to me to go and have a listen of, and it was a podcast called, or part of a podcast called On the Continent. I think it's Guardian Football from some decent sports writers, and they were really raving about Rocker, and they've not been wrong about it. Now, a lot of it will come down to how many games he misses through suspension. So there's going to be a few. So I've gone Rocker for my player of the season. I have gone Joffrey for young player of the season. My breakout player and top assister, I've gone Aronson.
Oh.
And top scorer, I've gone Paddy. So I'll catch up with Luke and the other lads in the pod and find out what those are on that. The other one
spreadsheet, Gilly, and be super nerdy about it and everything. Man.
Oh, come on, Carl. You know me better than that. Like there isn't already a spreadsheet waiting for me.
What do you think he's been doing today, Carl?
He's just looking to fill in the blanks now, really. That's it. Like,
so the other element is the actual league. So from a perspective of what we're looking at, so Carl, who's going to win the league this season?
I didn't think you were going to come to me first again, and I was like, that'll be over by the time it gets to me.
Yeah, I came to you because you'd gone on mute.
Winner of the league. I'm going to go with the Bin Dippers, I think.
I hope not.
Yeah. I know,
Jay?
yeah, but you know.
Well, after reading social media all through pre-season, I'm going to go for Aston, but no, Man City.
That's a nice old effort there, Jay.
I'm also going to go Man City because I saw a stat the other day that Man City and Liverpool finishing top 2 has happened 4 times, only beaten by the Scum and Chelsea and the Scum and Arsenal.
Wow.
I'd quite like the Scum to drop out of the reckoning for any of that. So if Man City and Liverpool are top 2 for the next 2 seasons, we can stop talking about them completely. They are then completely irrelevant, not just now, but in the history records as well.
Yes, please.
They're your Europa Conference team now, anyway.
Poor old Eric, 10 months.
No, didn't they get in Europa? It were West Ham that ended up in Conference League, wasn't it?
Ah, right. Well,
Really?
It doesn't matter. It's some
That's
form
a
of
shame.
league. That's
So.
not the Champions League.
That's a real shame.
That's,
FA Cup winners then, Carl?
I'll go us.
Are you changing the light bulb there, Carl?
It looks like it, doesn't
it?
Yeah. Yeah, who's winning FA Cup?
I'm also going to go us. Fuck it.
I'm going to get shot for mine.
Oh, you're going Scum, aren't you?
I'm a fuck, but I am going Chelsea.
Just as bad, Gilly.
It's not, is it?
It fucking is. Come on.
They're probably joint second with Liverpool behind the Scum. It's not as bad as Scum.
It's not as cut and dry as that for you, is it not?
The Scum are the shittiest team in land, are they? Come on.
Come on.
League Cup winners, Carl.
I will go with Spurs.
Jay?
City, because they always win it. And it's our least favourite cup, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, I think Spurs will do it this year. Conte's got them,
I could see him doing something, but I'm not sure if it's that. I don't know.
They'll
probably win the FA Cup, to be fair. We're just dreaming about us, aren't we? But it'd be nice to do something for once.
Well, Darren Bent reckons Spurs might finish third.
Finish what?
Really? Third.
In the poo?
Third.
Scum got the Europa by 2 points, by the way. They were nearly in the conference.
No, I've gone Man City to win league, Chelsea to win FA Cup, and Man City to win League Cup. Carl, who is your top scorer in the Premier League this season?
Can be only one.
It's either going to be it's either going to be Haaland, Salah, or Haaland, Salah. You know what? Jesus might have a good old season being the main man at Arsenal. He was never really the main man at City, and he always chipped in with half dozen goals a season. So, being the main man, he might thrive off the Ogarden supply.
Is there not a reason why he was not the main man at Man City, even though they didn't have another striker? And that's just because he's not good enough.
Well, no, it's because Pep didn't want to play a striker.
Then why has he gone and bought Haaland?
Because now he wants to play a fucking
Why did he play
striker.
Aguero for every game that he was fit for?
Yeah,
he
but
just
that
wasn't good enough. They've absolutely screwed Arsenal to the wall on this one. He's not good enough, and they've creamed him.
I think he's going to do bits. I'm not going to lie. I think he is. I think he's going to do well for Arsenal.
Okay, so here's a friendly bet for you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll only put a tenner on it. Charity money. I reckon he stays in single figures this season. Goals.
No.
Don't get to double figures.
Minimum 15, I think he's getting.
I reckon Sterling scores more.
Jesus Christ.
He don't get to double figures for me.
We're going to need a big jar.
You're going... So you're going... Jesus for top scorer above Haaland, Kane.
No. I didn't say, I didn't say Jesus for top scorer. I said he could do bits.
You fucking did.
I said it could.
Fucking did.
I didn't.
Well, make your mind up then. What are you talking about him
now.
for when I've asked you top scorer?
He's changed his mind because you've listed some names and he's got bamboozled.
I was saying Haaland, Salah, or Jesus could do it, so I hadn't made my pick. So I'm going with Haaland
can you?
now, just to wreck your heads.
I've half a mind to say no. You're gonna have to. I have to accept your first answer.
I didn't give a first. Well, my first answer would have been Haaland. So
Jay?
it's not too bad.
Haaland. I can't see anything else if he settles in. Okay.
Sorry, Miss
I
Stupid.
want to say Bamford, but
Net off.
What happened?
Fucking dogs run into internet router.
He's heard enough of your shit opinions.
Dog ate my own work.
Stupid bastards.
That's brilliant.
That's it.
Dog shit off the router.
Fuck it.
Right, Luke. I'll play catch up for you. Who's gonna win league?
City.
Who's gonna win FA Cup?
Chelsea.
Oh, duh. Who's gonna win League Cup?
Spurs.
Ooh, I said Spurs as well, man.
I got some shit for going Chelsea for FA Cup. I went Man City to win league and Chelsea to win FA Cup. So you were going a lot lines of me. Who's going to end up league top scorer, Luke?
Haaland by a fucking long shot.
Carl said Jesus and then backtracked very quickly. We now have a bet on. We now have a bet on of a tenner for charity. I reckon he don't even get to double figures. Carl reckons at least 15 goals.
I think he'll get to double figures. He'll get around about 15 this season.
I think he'll get about 12 or 13.
10, yeah, double figures, easy money. I get to pick the charity as well. Happy days.
Yeah, no bother.
The charity's not allowed to be you.
Carl, top assister in the Premier League.
Oh, Christ.
Come on, fucking hell! You're not asking the question.
I might go. I was
just thinking, where's that music?
I might go Havertz.
Oh.
Okay, Jay.
Well, it won't be Thomas Partey, I don't reckon. But I'm going to go for Son.
I've already written Son for mine.
Oh yeah,
Luke.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Carl.
I love the way the commentator pronounces that on FIFA. De Bruyne. It's awful. There's somebody else whose name he says really weird as well, but I cannot for the fucking life of me remember who it is, and it's really, really bad. I'm gonna make a note of that next time.
Stop playing games. You're not a child anymore.
How dare you? I don't ever plan to grow up.
A bit of a wild card
There's
question.
not much look at that now.
Well, that's true.
Moving on. A bit of a wild card question on this one because it can be for whatever reason you want. But the league's biggest flop. Guess it could be a club. Guess it could be an individual. Whatever it might be. Carl, who do you think the league's biggest flop is going to be this season?
Jesse Lingard.
Oh, that's a good call.
But is that going to be a flop? Does anybody expect him to do anything?
Mate, if you go to a newly promoted team and you're getting paid 200 grand a week, you have to go and be their Ronaldo.
Yeah,
basically,
better. Yeah.
But you have to go and drag that team through everything, and you have to lead from the front, man, if you're going to go and do that.
And demand that money. Like, none of them are going to be on more than 60 grand a week. None.
Rumour has it they called a doctor after someone found out they'd give him that deal. Got the chief exec checked.
Right, Jay? Biggest flop?
Oh, God. I'm just going to say Eric Ten Hag because I can't really think on the spot and I'd love to see him fail.
Okay, Luke?
And Lingard was a good shout. So.
I'm going to go with Aston Villa.
Yes.
And I'm going to go with a combined Fat Frank and Everton.
Oh, here you go.
Will it really be a flop, though? Because we're expecting them to be shit.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting Lingard to be shit, and you just raved about how good a choice that was.
Can I do my Leeds ones, Gilly, quickly?
You can. I'll come back round to it now. I've just got it here. So, player of the season?
Christensen.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Young player of the year?
Joffrey.
Popular answer. Breakout player of the season from the new players.
Tyler Adams.
Top scorer.
Bamford.
And top assists.
Rodrigo.
Ooh.
It's a good shout, you know.
Cool. So we've got all of that. So we can have a look back at that. So I went with Aronson, the breakout player and the top assister. Paddy, top scorer. Joffrey, young player and Rocker player of the year. Luke, you were the only one not to go with Rocker player of the year. It's an interesting one. But we'll get the other details.
Who did I
We'll
go
get
for?
the other lads in the. You went for Christensen.
Oh yeah.
Controversial.
We'll get the details from the other lads in the pod, and we'll publish it, and then we can have a look back over the course of the season.
Pin the tweet.
Right. Yeah, we will do. Right. So here's another mention from another sponsor.
Oh, another one.
CBD are a family company with a local shop feel and exist to continue to promote the obvious and immediate benefits of CBD products while keeping the cost to you, the consumer, as low as possible. You'll find multiple flavours available on our site, answers to frequently asked questions and suggestions on what is right for you, as well as a web form for you to get in touch. There's free delivery on orders over £50, and don't forget to use the Auto Know Better discount code of OKB10 for 10% discount of all products. Lastly, a portion of all profits will be donated to mental health charities.
That the right one.
Somebody wants to be earning some money for these voiceovers. It's good work, that.
We're paying for these ads.
The last bit I want to do is we'll come on to the Wolves game. But first off, Luke, can I just come to you to just give details of the competition and the updates on that?
Yeah. So we've very kindly been donated a print, a sporting print of. It's the Leeds Championship winning print, so it's the lineup of the whole team, not the team. It's got all the results. It's got where we finished, the points. It's quite nice, quite pretty looking. It's been donated by Iconic Sporting Highlights, who are at sporting_prints on Twitter. Just keep your eyes peeled for the competition straight after the podcast tonight. It'll just be a case of following us, following them, and retweeting, and that's your entry. And we'll pick a winner at random. I will probably say, I reckon, maybe this time next week.
Cool. Thank you very much. And just off the back of that as well, we also had not a competition, but a bit of a charity auction running around a Click shirt that we had. It was signed, framed. And we had a very, very generous donation. I think his handle is TV Tinks. Or is it Tinks TV? I can't.
Tinks TV,
Tinks, I think. Is it? Who very generously not only put a winning bid of £750 for the shirt, then also donated that shirt to one lucky lad off of Twitter just because he thought he looked like a nice lad. Which, again, what a legend that is. We've split that, so I don't think we've had feedback yet, but we're awaiting feedback from the Leeds United Supporters Trust as to who their charity partner will be that will put 50% of those funds towards, and the other 50%, so 375, has gone to the Leeds United Foundation.
Thanks for that,
What
Gilly.
are you grinning at?
Tell us you don't watch the pods without telling us you don't watch the pods. Did this last week.
I was just thinking that, but I thought I won't say that.
However, one thing that we have discussed and we are putting together is we're going to have a bit of a good news story in each of our podcasts moving forward. The first one was around Tinks. I didn't listen last week because you're all talking shit. I was busy last week, so I didn't listen to it all. But what we'll be doing, and we'd like a bit of input from people that are listening and getting involved as to the good news story that we ought to feature. But we'll get a feature up and running for the main pods through the season and just shine a bit of a spotlight on somebody that's been a bit of a star, a bit of a ledge, or something that's happened that's nice, something along those lines. And just we'll finish off on a positive on each of the pods. That's it. Right. We're not arguing at all. We've grown from those days.
Matured.
I don't know about matured. I've grown a bit, but it's round middle more than anything else.
Giant grown.
I don't need to, mate. Massive in stature.
Right, okay. Shit. Once again, moving on.
Big personality. Big personality.
That's me, pal.
Looking forward to the commencement of the season. Then we've got the first game upcoming. Are we going to go straight into the predictions? But do we want to talk about the game first and what we expect, or are we going to go straight into predictions? What do you want to do?
Talk a little bit if we want. We're not in a rush, are we?
No, we're all right for now. So I guess, Luke, if I come to you first then, because you sound like you're ready. Let's have a look at our starting lineup. Do you think we'll differ from the last pre-season friendly, or do you think that'll be pretty much what we expect?
I think it will be pretty much what we expect, although we might see Cooper back. I don't know. I think we'll probably start the same. I think I can't see him changing any of that. Obviously, Dan James suspended, Sinistera still injured, Firpo out, Dallas, Ayling, Forshaw as well potentially. So yeah, I don't see much changing. I think the only bonuses is that Jimenez is out for them as well. If we're talking about injuries, we've got Jimenez out, which means there won't be about 17 minutes of injury time because he's been running around like a leaping salmon out of water. But yeah, I think I can't see the changing the lineups changing. I think obviously the key battle for me on Saturday is going to be between Rocker and Neves. They play quite similar roles for each side. And Rocker's looked excellent during pre-season, while stats have shown that Ruben Neves was Wolves' go-to man last season for kick-starting attacks.
But you didn't need that at all, did you?
So this is, I should just say, sorry, everybody. This is from a guy on Twitter who just started doing a little bit of data analysis and that, I suppose. His name's at FC Saint, so ST Paudi, Paudi. He just does it for a bit of fun. We asked him if he wanted to come on and do it, but he doesn't want to commit to doing too much. So I just said I'd read a couple of bits out of his each week as we look forward to the games coming up from his profile, which he was quite happy for. Didn't want to become on camera, didn't want to overcommit because he didn't want to take up too much time, which is fair enough. But the stuff he does is really good. So if you want to go follow him, do.
Good stuff.
Cool. Yep. Thank you very much. So, Carl.
Yeah.
There's a couple of players already been mentioned there. Who do we think from the opponents it is that we need to look out for?
Well, I would have said Jimenez, but he's crocked that for himself.
So the obvious one's gone.
well, there's also, isn't there?
Neto.
Neto, that's the one I was going to go Jota, but Neto was the one that I was trying to get out.
Jota's been gone a while, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, but they have Neto.
Slow Sports News with Jay and Carl.
Don't drag me into it. It's not to do with me.
It's going to stop. That's it. No, look, I think all in all, I think Wolves are always going to be a threat, no matter what's going on. They've had a slack. They've had a slack pre-season in terms of results. It's not been great for them. I don't think they had a win for pre-season. So not that pre-season is much to go off, but look, we're looking at a 6-2 win over Cagliari and thinking, yay, we're going to be okay because Neves isn't playing. But I think if we start taking that kind of stuff for granted, then that's the one.
Fucking hell, Carl, mate. Do the research. Read them.
I've been told I'm not allowed to do my own research, so I don't bother anymore.
Read the standing orders.
Right.
Read the standing orders, Carl Castro. Read them and understand them.
But look, at the end of the day, we know Wolves aren't going to be any pushovers, and they're always a kind of a difficult game. And look, hopefully we can find some form of, I don't know, inspiration from somewhere, but we'll see. I'm just yeah.
You sound very pessimistic, Carl.
Yeah.
Somebody said today about Greenwood. So someone said to me today about Greenwood. You know, he's from Sunderland. It's impossible to have a Sunderland accent and sound positive about anything. And then I went back and watched his video about him signing his contract, and he sounds just like Carl did then. He sounds really depressed.
Isn't Joe Wayman from up that way?
Yeah.
He sounds
I don't think so.
Sometimes. I think he is. I think he's a. Oh, it might be Middlesbrough, maybe actually.
If he's from Middlesbrough, if he's from Sunderland, and you've just said you think he's from Middlesbrough, he's not going to be happy with you.
Fucking hell, no.
What did we do last season against Wolves?
We
drew it home, didn't we?
Drew it home and won away.
Went the crazy game.
With that the 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had a man sent off as well for a large portion of that game, so we can't really read into saying we've comfortably beaten Wolves there. We should really be beating 10 men, let's be honest. So,
that were one of the best games of the season, because it wasn't just the game itself, it were the aftermath. It were like that girl on the video, she's like, oh my God, they're throwing seats. It were amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Get fucked. Not just fucking colourblind, you're ear blind.
Was she from Bangladesh, Jay?
Bangladesh.
Ear blind? You mean that?
I do, mate, but I had to make it fit with what I'd said.
Fucking ear blind. Jesus.
What does EYES spell?
AS.
Christ.
Shit, right.
Huang. Jay's just said there. Huang. That he's a good player. Yeah, he's got a bit of a knock as well. Their danger man's got to be Neto. He's got to be. I mean, he's pretty much all they've. I'm not going to say it, but yeah, he's a good player. And it should be a good competitive game, first game of the season.
I think so. Yeah,
I think it'll be Neto as well, especially if Huang's got a knock, like Jay said in the comments. Got to watch out for Martino as well, being an arsehole, but I don't think he's as dangerous as.
He's about 48 now.
It's just more irritating. Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be playing, will he?
You never know.
Who's the guy in middle? It'll be Neves and is it Dendoncker as well, isn't it, in middle?
Neves, Dendoncker, and Moutinho probably. Yeah.
We've got Morgan Gibbs White as well.
Yeah, I Nori at left back, Johnny at right back, Cody and Collins in the middle. Collins have just signed for a fortune, I think, from Burnley, didn't they? And then they've got the keeper side. Do you want me to just run through a few of these stats that he sent me quickly?
Go for it.
Mate. Yeah.
Stats. Interesting stats from 21-22. Despite finishing 10th in the Premier League table, Wolves finished 19th in the expected goals for table. So they only expected that they should have been in the relegation zone based on their expected goals. Jose Sarr has the highest save percentage in the league last season with 79.3%. Ilya Meslier was ranked 18th with a save percentage of 65.6%. Wolves were ranked number one for the total number of dribbles completed successfully over the season, despite only playing 20 games. Adama Traore ranked 6th in the individual charts, one place higher than Rafinha. Yao Moutinho and Ruben Neves were the two players dribbled past the most in all of the Premier League. That'll suit us, won't it, with our midfield? That will suit us.
And being slow.
Wolves attempted the 3 most long balls in the Premier League, which could cause problems for Leeds' high defensive line. And his match prediction, this is Pordy's, is 1-1.
Very good.
Is he going to be in Predictions League this season as well?
I think we might well add him in, because if I'm going to be reading the odd stat out of his, then he's going to give a match prediction every week. So why not?
Go on then. What did he give?
1-1.
1-1.
Ooh. We'll get into the predictions. I'll share them as we go. We've got some surprise names that are going to be in the Prediction League this season, but we'll show them as we get closer to the game. So I'll come around you guys now. Now, Carl, I know that you're going to give me some shit, but you're going to get negative points if you don't predict this season.
I said at the end of last season I'd start giving predictions this year.
Just making sure.
I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten.
Good.
All right.
Go on then. Let's give us a prediction. Oh, in fact, sorry. Here we go. See, usually there's somebody running videos and somebody hosting, isn't there?
Auto know better predictions.
I'll just do it all. Just like all times. Hey.
Carl?
3-1 Leeds.
Wow.
Jay?
This is what you wanted, lads. This is what you wanted.
Oh, God. 2-1 Leeds.
Luke?
2-0 Leeds.
Clean sheet. And I've gone 3-1 Leeds.
At Cagliari.
Have you honestly got 3-1 Leeds? My first time predicting on a live show, and you've got 3-1 Leeds.
And Jay Michaels for the fans has gone 3-1 Leeds as well.
Jay's quick in there. Fair play to him. Didn't even announce it for the fans yet. He's already in there.
Alison and Marty's gone 1-all. In fact, I might have done a dirty there because, or them, should I say, because I think they were before Jay. So, but I've written it now. It's locked in. Sorry.
They were 1-all. Alison and Marty
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe take.
That's shit in it.
Well.
Alison and Marty will come to you. We'll come to you for the next one. And I'll make a note of that one. So I'm just going to.
Controversial.
I've been a bit. Well, I've also been really harsh in terms of the comments as well, because I've not shared any of them at all. So we'll just whiz through some evening.
Oh, good evening. Good evening. Just on that, really quickly, has anyone seen the video of the Arsenal fan going up to him and asking him, to say good evening, and he goes up to the camera.
No,
who's that to?
This is an Arsenal fan.
To an Arsenal fan going up to him, asking him
Up
to
to
say
who?
good evening.
Unai Emery.
Unai Emery.
Oh, right, no.
And he just goes, looks down the camera and goes.
Unai Emery did.
Yeah. Not the fan.
We know. This team relegated from Serie A last season. Surely expect them to win. Lack of clinical finishing. I don't know if that's us expected to win or them expected. It must be us.
Lack of clinical finishing. We won 6-2.
Followed up every time they broke. They had issues. I think he meant them winning because every time they broke, we had issues.
Right.
Okay. Allison's right. Still need that left back. Teams know that's a weakness. Needs done ASAP. I'm not popping the name up that followed.
Absolutely not.
But Luke was away to master his cooking skills.
I won't go that far. Cheese on toast.
Alison and Marty thought Liverpool was going to win the league by 1 single point.
To be fair, they've lost it by 1 single point for a few years now, so probably do it.
And unfortunately, sorry. Apologies again. Going 1-1 left back worries me with their pace. Confirmation of what Jay had said about Huang having a knock as well. Emilu jumped in early. Got to go, but feel good for this week. Took my boy to his first ER on Sunday and worked him, teaching my 3-year-old the words to match on together on Monday morning.
Yo,
awesome.
Nice one.
There's Jay's prediction that I did catch. Earling winner. Oh, that must have been the Wolves game last season. No, that must have been the Wolves game last season. I just picture. Oh, I didn't realise that Firpo were there. I had his picture taken with Firpo. That's good.
Nice.
My girls had theirs took with Stewie Dallas. You've probably seen it. But
you did, yeah.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. It's good to see him there and getting involved with the squad and being around the squad, isn't it? Even when they're not available. I like that.
Yeah. It was. I think we were about 45 minutes before kickoff. We walked in and they just got there. They were all in tracksuit, all in their own club. They weren't in tracksuits or anything like that. Yeah. So they're obviously not part of the matchday squad and that. So they just. But yeah, there was a few of them. I saw Luke there just before. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And the question, Jay, I'm going to come to you on this one. Do you reckon this new ticket system is going to fail miserably?
I think it will be fine once people who don't know what they're doing get up to speed. The tickets themselves worked fine from what I saw, and the turnstile didn't trap me or anything like that. So, yeah, it was nice and smooth going. It was
now,
smooth
here's a
going.
question.
It were the people who didn't know. I had to show a guy how to open his Google Wallet. He said, "What's one of them?" And I said, "Oh God." When you work in IT,
did he check his back pocket?
When you work in IT support, you don't want to be asked these kind of questions when you go to a football match. But
not here to
I
work,
showed him,
man.
and he had all his whole family's tickets in there, so I had to then explain to him, you have to scroll across each time, show the code, swipe it, scroll across. He'll have been passing phone back through gate, you know what I mean? That'll be why it takes hours for everyone to get in.
Yeah, because if it's all on same one, that's fair. I think, for me, it was dead straightforward, and people will get used to it. And I think there is an approach for people to be able to use if they don't have a device that's going to work with it. They can go through ticket office, can't they? But I think it is the preference. It were good that they opened up in advance, so that people could get in earlier, because I think there was an expectation that some would struggle. But there were no issue for us. We were straight through. Here's a question though: was your turnstile anxiety better or worse, given the electronic ticket?
This is it, isn't it?
It was worse for me. I were really worried that it wasn't going to happen.
I sent the kids through first, so if it had gone wrong,
they were in and you were out.
This is the thing. There was somebody with a little boy, and they sent him in first, and you're like, well, if they go through, and then the little boy comes through, and then gets stuck, what do you do? But the other way around's even worse, because you can come back out. They'll let you out. They're not just going to let you in.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to go with them then, get a duplicate ticket, I guess. But
yeah.
How can you when they're already through the turnstile?
You've scanned in.
Yeah.
But you'd have to go, wouldn't you? Because when you get stuck in the turnstile, that's after you've scanned your season card or your ticket. Yeah. So it's just the same thing. You just have to show ID and prove it with you and whatever. But I could just imagine. Oh mate, I've had it for years. Just because I look young, you know.
He's short. He's not young.
All be blessed. Can't all be blessed with youthful good looks and a full head of hair. But so I could just imagine Luke with his daughters in turnstile, right, so you just need to go back out there around to West Stand ticket office. Get in that queue.
I'll get you a pie. I'll see you in there.
I'll have your pie and a bottle of Coke waiting for you when you come back in.
It's the first time, you know what? I think it's one of the first times I've ever been to a game and not had a pint. I didn't even have one. Have one at all. Still enjoyed it though. It was different for different reasons. Let's say.
Yeah. You've reminded me. I went to the bar at half time. I thought, fuck it, I'm hungry. I'd not eaten all day. All I'd had was a slice of toast for breakfast. I was starving.
Cool story.
So I went and got in the queue. You know, all fucking England stuff's on TV. Everyone's going mental. Get to the front. No fucking food left. All there is pizzas. £9 pizzas. So I was starving, so I thought, fuck it, I'll buy one. It were like a fucking frisbee. It were like rock hard, and it had like some sauce on it and a sprinkling of cheese threatening it.
Hang on a minute.
Been in there a while. It were rock hard. It were like a plate.
Hang on a minute. So you can spend £9 on a pizza, but it takes you 6 months to pay £3 football subs back to me.
That's because I didn't want to pay you.
Joe, just quickly, well done to the Lionesses, by the way. I didn't watch any of it.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
I didn't watch any of it.
But congratulations. It's worth saying that they enjoy every second to revel in the moment. I think it's a good. It's a special moment in certainly in the female sports history. So good on them. Well done.
And for all the young Lionesses that are coming to the game on Sunday, apparently Rachel Daly is going to be there parading around at halftime. Cool. So. You know, if they want to.
Is that who had the lead tattoo that showed it when she?
Yeah. So if any young Lionesses want to go and see a Euros winner, I'm sure you can get the chance there.
I'll tell you what, Alison, I want happy, but it with that or stay hungry. I should have stayed hungry.
Fucking fly.
Take your Snickers.
Yeah, well,
when you're hungry.
That's right, but
right, okay. I think
they don't fit in his pocket.
Gets a king size for Christmas.
Gets the fun size ones out of like celebrations and that.
That's it. Yeah, it's like a full meal.
That's to hold it with 2 hands.
Yeah, that's it. Hey,
moving on.
Sneak under the gates, so it's all right.
Yeah.
So we've kind of focused on the positives towards the end of this podcast, but to put that at risk, has anybody got an Auto No Bitter that they want to cover?
Oh God. I've not thought about.
Should have used that for Luke and set him going on the finances, shouldn't I?
yeah. I think that's probably is it. It's just people not fully understanding where we are, and we've got to just. I think for me, it's not really a bitter or a rant. We've got to be realistic and be realists and understand where we are as a club now and where we were when he took the risk and took us over and invested and bought the club. He's done a lot wrong. The board have done a lot wrong, and we almost saw the worst of that towards the end of last season when we nearly ended up back in the Championship. But on the whole, they've done a lot of good, and we are where they said we'd be within 5 years, and they did it with a couple of years to spare. So, and reconfirmed our position in the Premier League, and it's just now about pushing on and just climbing that table sensibly, without blowing loads of money and doing a Ridsdale and climbing and reinvesting and sell. That's what it's going to be. We've got those 3 lads on 5-year contracts today, which is great news. But the realism is if they have if they have a really good season and we get offered 20-30 million for one of them, the likelihood is we're going to sell them and we're going to reinvest that money on 2 or 3. And that's what we've got to understand as a club. That's where we are. We're not one of the bigger clubs. I say bigger in inverted commas because we are still a huge club. But what I mean is everything is run by money. It's manufactured around money now in the game, and we're not one of those big clubs.
At what point do you think that stops, Luke?
I think it stops when we're I don't think it'll ever stop. I think we'll always try and be bigger and bigger and bigger until either until either he sells us and we. My biggest worry and concern is that he sells us to the 49ers and we become a West Ham or a Villa or a Tottenham or and have a shithole of a stadium. That it's not shithole. They're absolutely lovely looking, but we almost lose our identity and our soul, and I don't want that for the club. I'd rather grow organically and us to be Leeds United and stay Leeds United and have the same group of fans. I mean, great, extend the stadium, but extend it sensibly. Don't just sort of double it in size and then So my biggest worry and concern is to get bigger and get to be those bigger clubs that can cherry pick their players and decide on fees and things. You almost have to lose a bit of your soul and identity to compete. Arguably,
got to sell a piece of your soul.
And I don't want that. I'd rather stay as Leeds United and be a mid-table team battling week in, week out with Ellen Road as it is, to be fair. And it sounds a bit stupid and maybe a little bit backward. In an ideal world, I think if we could continue growing the way we are, selling and reinvesting and buying new players and grow that way, without losing our identity, then that would be ideal. And that's why I think I'm probably a little bit more biased in my support of Rads and everything that they've done so far, because I think that's ideally what they're trying to do.
I think the 49ers will just be waiting to find out what they need to make sure we can host NFL games before we expand.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, as Leeds fans, we want everything yesterday, don't we? And we do.
Yeah.
And we're entitled. We're a massive club, and we've got that sense of entitlement, and we need, people you see on Twitter, we should be signing Gakpo. Well, let's be honest, he's arguably going to go to a team that's playing in Europe, and we want to sign who's the other lad, Kamara. Now, things like that, and we've just got to appreciate who we are, where we are, to attract the players that we've got, and the caliber of players that we've got is good. We've got players that have played in the Premier League and come away from teams that are playing in the Champions League. And coming away from Champions League football to represent Leeds United, and they're loving it here. And I'd rather have players like that than signing James Tarkowski on 120 grand a week or Jesse Lingard on 200 grand a week. So I think we've got to give them a little bit more respect. I think probably is the best word. I mean, they've done so much wrong, but they've done a lot. That's where we are. So that's my rant over anyway.
Fair enough. I was going to just say when you mentioned the contracts, the thing with contracts now with those young lads and stuff, as you say, if we get a good bid on any of them, we will sell. Contracts now are not to make sure a player stays. Contracts are to make sure you get a decent fee when they leave. Yeah. That's it. It's security for the club.
It's a protection of investment, just as it is associated with the investment into the club itself that we were talking about with Rad. It is protecting your investment, making sure that they're on a long enough deal so that if somebody comes in and takes them, that they take them for the right value associated with that. It's an asset, isn't it, to the club?
That's it.
I think so. Yeah.
We've got Alison as an inside woman here. Look,
Luke talking sense. Give over Alison again.
Have you been drinking, Alison?
I think just to potentially disappoint you there, Luke. So I mean, actually, I'll go the other way around. You're right. Elland Road needs some work to it. We know that it does, and they're putting plans in place to do that. But what we don't want to do is move from a football stadium to a sporting venue, which is what the London Stadium and the others are. The sporting venues and that.
Yeah. More the gig venues,
and that's where you lose your soul.
Sporting venues. They're more gig venues. Honestly, the one at West Ham, mate, is the worst stadium I've ever been to in my entire life.
For football,
by a long shot. By a long shot.
I've been to London Stadium, whatever it's called now, something like 3 times, but never to see football. I've been to see the Race of Champions, where they put a racetrack out in it, and you've got people from different motorsports doing different things competing. I've been to see Foo Fighters there for a gig. I might have been for another one, but yeah, that's all. I've never been there for football. Great venue.
You've definitely been there for the better atmospheres, Jay. That's for sure.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have, mate. I have.
Without a doubt. Like.
They have the bubble machine out.
No, they didn't. I had to think about it for a second.
But then the other side to things is it's looking like we are moving towards an acquisition of the club from the 49ers. You know, the news stories are showing that it's expected that, and I don't know whether that'll include the investment that's already in the club. Probably, but then they're looking at a £475 million takeover by 2024. Now, is that to be controlling shares? Is that to buy everybody else out? Will we still see Lowy there? Will Rad be involved at all? We don't know. I think, you know, we kind of touched on it earlier. I think while we're in this mixed position and there's a little bit of uncertainty around the future of ownership of the club, are we in a position where we've got people that are capable of investing that are not willing to invest because it's no longer protection of their investment? Actually, they would be extending their risk associated with investment. So, you know, there's a lot going on there. And I think that you know, as fans, all we need to see is a squad that's ready for the season. And I think we were, to a man, I think we were all in a position where we feel that we're a bit short in some areas, and it's areas that have been short in for a while, which is the frustration. But Alison is on the case and will report back. But we'll keep that between us and not mention it live on the pod, just in case anybody's watching.
Inbox us, Alison. Inbox us, man. Just, you know,
that's it.
Give a question.
Cool. Keep an eye out for this bloody competition.
I didn't realise that one. Chuck Remiker's costing Chelsea £18 million.
He's only 18 years old, isn't he?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
As it says in the comment.
It's a lot, it's a lot of cash. That it is a lot of cash. I mean, it looked like it was, but isn't that even with only one season left on his contract?
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Because they were trying to sign him up. Yeah, a decent player, but
he's not an £18 million 18-year-old decent player, I don't think.
But
you know, before it gets to December, he'll be plying his trade in League 2 in France somewhere. He's going to be out on loan. He's not going to be playing.
Crystal Palace on loan, nailed on.
The Chelsea talent factory.
A couple of years ago, there was something like 100 Chelsea youth players out on loan.
They've knocked all that on the head, haven't they? Now they've stopped. They've
cut it down. They have cut it down.
But they've no choice.
To be fair, it's under different leadership now, isn't it?
Yeah, but
the two young lads called that they signed from us, like under the nose, and they got fined.
Yeah, that was Taiwo, wasn't it?
Taiwo.
Yeah.
They've both been released now, haven't they?
Yeah, one ended up at Carlisle, didn't he? Another ended up doing fuck all.
Yeah.
Didn't he brick you?
Something like that. I remember one of them, Chelsea bought his parents a fitted kitchen to take him there. That was story, anyway.
How did he get it home?
Fuck knows, mate. But they said, son, get yourself down there. They've promised us a kitchen. Fucking hell.
They're going to do it right. They're getting us a Wren kitchen, not a B&Q.
Not an MFI.
They said, fuck IKEA, we can give you Wren.
Right, we've descended into bullshit, so I'm going to call it there.
Yeah, it's about that time, all right, isn't it?
Keep an eye out for the competition. It'll be live at 10 o'clock tonight.
Sweet.
Cool, nice one. That's 8 minutes from now, Luke. You set your stall out.
Fucking fly just through me here.
Thanks everybody for getting involved in the comments. Thanks for joining us. It's good to be back. Let's get into it. Cheers all.